Hello, everybody, and welcome to another devlog for the making of my Liege. I am Addison, also known as Segoy Penguin Gaming, and got a couple of things I want to cover in this edition. Main thing, first things first, the Steam page. It is official, it is up, it is running, it's looking, I think, pretty good. Definitely gonna continue tweaking it as we go, but it's there. I'm still up on itch.io as well, but this is going to be where I keep the most up-to-date demo, most likely, because I might forget about the other spot. But, yeah, check it out. You see we got a planned release date here of around Q3 2024. I'm telling myself August for now, end of August, but we'll see how all that goes. Because we got a lot of things planned, and I wouldn't be surprised if things take maybe a month or two longer because of how ambitious I'm being. But we'll get into that. So if you got Steam, come check it out. Throw me a wish list if you're feeling generous and want to feed the algorithm. You can download the demo here. The demo is the same with a couple of improvements from what was put out on itch. It now supports saves. That's it. That's what's improved. So that's first order of business. Second order of business, I just want to thank everyone again for all of the great feedback, both positive and constructive, about the demo. I can't thank you guys enough. It's truly extremely helpful in ways that I can't fully explain, both in pointing out things that need improvement, pointing out things that are way more important than I realized because of just how much you guys enjoy seeing them, like the thought bubbles above meeples. You guys love them, and I liked that feature, but now I'm seeing that stuff like that is just, it really adds a lot of character to the game. So just thank you. And if you guys maybe you try out the demo because of this video and you've got thoughts, hit me up anywhere. Comment section, smoke signals, any form of way you can get feedback to me. I'm all ears. So just wanted to gush about that. For the actual devlog itself, I've got two things I want to talk about. One is just the couple of improvements I've made so far, and in the last week or two. And there's not a lot of show for it because it's boring back-end stuff. But kind of want to speak to the importance of planning ahead a little bit. And that's because I added in save files, but also I added in the functionality needed to go from one act to the next, or one mission to the next, one scenario to the next, whatever I end up calling them, which was a lot more difficult than I expected. I kind of anticipated that I had to make changes to the baseline architecture, but because when I first started building the game, I hadn't even quite decided, is it going to be episodic? Is it going to be one long playthrough, kind of like a Civilization game? Or is there going to be multiple mission branches? Like, you might not even get to play these 3 missions because you went down a different path. I had none of those decisions made. And now through the development process, I've decided, okay, I think the direction I want to go, and actually, it's not I think, I know the direction I'm going to go now, is it's going to be a campaign. So a single story broken up into multiple missions. So, and in between each mission or act, there's going to be some amount of time that passes, whether it's 3 months, like I'll have in between the prologue and the first mission, aka that winter that you stored all that food for, or I might jump a generation, so that we can get to know and see long-term impacts of your decisions. But that's the key thing, is it's going to be a single campaign where your choices throughout the entire thing will continue mattering. And that proves some challenges with how I built the game, because I built it originally to say, okay, I'm going to have this file that defines what a scenario is going to start off as and what it's going to include, which worked great for the demo because it's a standalone thing. But then I was like, okay, you're going to go to the next mission. Oh, I need to look back and consider all that data from how your previous mission ended, so that I know how this mission can start, so that your choices mattered and you see how they impacted you. Well, okay, I need to be able to save the data from the end of the first mission so that I can reference it. Well, now I need to build save files. So all of this came together, but it just showed me that a lot of the ways I was storing some of the data on the back end was not conducive to how the game needed to work. The big example for me was the names of the people in the houses. I originally had that stored with the scenario setup file, and because I was like, okay, for this scenario, these people are going to be relevant. But then, if I'm gonna, in this next scenario, have to redefine who's relevant, and then let's say in the first scenario you renamed a bunch of people because I give you that option, and you wanted your house to reflect you. Well, okay, now I need to keep track of your overrides and figure out, okay, this new name that you came up with corresponds to this person in mission 1 and mission 2, and that wasn't making sense anymore. So I had to reinvent how I was storing all that, which is just, the game now has a master list of people, and if you make any changes to that, well, I just save a whole master list, and that's just what we load. I don't worry about what was overridden, whatever. Your save file just has the full list of valid names now, which is a lot simpler. But I didn't think that would be necessary when I was starting off, because I hadn't answered those big questions. So I think the lesson learned there is I just learned that, all that planning really matters. But it's okay that I didn't have that figured out, because I didn't know what direction I wanted the campaign or long-term game flow of the game to even be yet. So you can only plan so much. And you don't want to make decision paralysis. You got to start making the game. I have a future video I'm going to put up shortly after this one where I kind of walk through designing the new map, the expanded map. And just in the act of designing the map, I started having all these ideas of missions or plot points that could happen. Same thing here. I needed to build the game in order to know what was important about the save files, what needed to be saved. And those things started to answer, well, okay, this is how I should set up storing these things. So you can only do so much sometimes. And so those were the two kind of technical things I've tackled in the last couple weeks. I wish I had more to show off there, but I'm just not ready. I don't have anything quite show-offable other than the Steam store. Go check it out. The other thing, and I'm going to add this actually as onto the store page, because I spent a little time making a roadmap, like I'm an actual professional about all this. It felt a little weird to make a development roadmap for a game that's not actively in early access, and I don't plan on making it in early access, but it was kind of mentally I wanted to have it for me, but also to share with you guys in a nice little devlog setting. So this is... I'm pointing the wrong way again. This is what I'm planning on doing over the next half year, roughly. So I broke it into 3 categories. We have over here on the far left the winter and spring of 2024. What are the big things I'm going to try to tackle these next couple months? And it's really make it expand the game from being a demo to a full game that I wouldn't feel bad charging money for. So that's things like expanding the map, so it's not just your little chunk of paradise. Rough drafting the campaign. I don't expect to have it perfect, but the goal right now is 6 or more acts or missions or scenarios. Because I would like to land somewhere in the 5 to 10 hours of gameplay on a playthrough. With enough variety built in there of your choices mattering that you could have additional playthroughs if you felt like it. And then the big kind of technical piece that's left is I still need a more efficient way of adding the other houses to the map. Right now, there's a lot of code that like a computer-run house would need in order to, animate meeples moving around. That I think needs to be refactored a little bit to not assume we're talking about the player's house. And then, of all the menus and things in the current game that need some love and affection, it's the ancestry menu. I like what it's going for. I like the idea of providing you a way to get context of who are all these people that we're going to start working and interacting with that I need to know. But that menu just is not hitting the mark right now, and I've got a lot of great feedback from the demo playtesters, the people that have reached out to me, that I've got some excellent ideas on how to make this menu feel a lot better. But right now, it is my least favorite part of the game, and it needs to exist. Because that was one question I had. It was, if I hate it so much, and it's getting all this feedback of what needs to be changed, should it even exist? The answer I landed to is yes, it needs to exist. So, it needs to be remade, so I'm factoring that into the timeline. And then one last thing I'd like to really accomplish is adding in some customization things for meeples. So this includes adding more things to the meeples, other than just like what they're holding. Give them hats, maybe give them like outfits, and things like that. But then, just like I let you change like the name and the names of the individuals that are in your house and stuff, give you some way to just customize that hat they're wearing, or that headpiece, or the sword they're using. Because I would like to have the meeples in your house feel more important. Like, yes, your heir looks like this. You can spot him at a glance. Because I plan on sprinkling them into the map a little bit more too, and having them play a more prominent role, including a meeple for you. A couple people pointed out in the demo, there's never a meeple that is you. And what do you look like? I think that would be something that'd be great to add to the game, to really draw people into the world more. The middle category there is Steam Next Fest June 2024. If you don't know what a Steam Next Fest is, there actually is one going on right now. February, I think it's like 5th through the 12th is the week it is. But it's a time where Steam has a bunch of upcoming games gathered together on their store page, and they show off all the new demos for those games, as well as allow the devs to do featured broadcasts, stuff like that. Basically, it's their way of providing a lot of free publicity to upcoming games. It's not strictly just for indie devs, but it's one of the best ways for me to get out there. So I'm registered to participate because I'm good to go. The requirements are pretty simple. You got a game. It's going to release sometime after the next fest, and you have to have a playable demo. So, done. And I'll have to do a featured broadcast, which just means that they'll like schedule a time to be like, hey, these are the broadcasts up at this time. And broadcast is just like a stream on the Steam platform. So what things do I need? Am I specifically planning on having done by that moment? That's going to be a big milestone, as I want to have things at a certain point so that I show off my best side, which I don't know, right? Left? You decide, get in the comments. That was dumb. Either way. So what do I want to have done? I want to have the demo updated with the new features that I just talked about, trying to add in during the winter and spring. But specifically for the demo, I want to add more of these cinematic moments, is what I'm calling them. So right now, they're pretty bare bones. It's times where I have the camera follow a meeple because of what you did. So, like when you reassign early on in the demo some guards to work as farmers, the camera will follow one of those guards as they walk to the barn and switch their tools, and then they go out in the field. I want to do that more, but like to help draw you into the story. So Sir Godfrey arrives to meet with you. I want to show a horse riding meeple and his like retinue arriving at town, and it might be like a 3-5 second thing where the camera follows them as they approach the keep. But now you know that somebody important has arrived. Similarly, when you maybe ride off to fight the Carlbridge men at the watermill, actually showing that there are Carlbridge men at the watermill, maybe they set fire to something, and when you guys get there, now the two meeples will stand and have like a little kind of cartoony like sword fight until the next turn it resolves all that. Maybe somebody tips over and is carried off. Stuff happening in the world basically that I'm going to have the camera focus on and draw your attention to events playing out in front of you. I feel not, I want to find as many natural places to sprinkle that in there, but not make it feel like I'm watching cutscenes all the time. Definitely not going to be cutscenes. It's all going to be in-game footage, but cinematic in the sense that the camera is going to direct your attention to it. And then in general, these are kind of blanket statements, but before the next fest for the demo, I want to make some UI improvements. Overall, the UI feels large and clunky at times, so give a nice go-over of that to make it feel a little more professional. Add some additional visual content. This is referring mostly to create more 3D models so that I have a little bit of variety in the houses. Update the trees, hopefully, so that they have like kind of a nice little wind wiggle that goes on, especially when it's raining and storming. And add more 3D models like the meeples to give more variety so that all the farmers look the same. Stuff like that. And then there's a handful of bug fixes that are pretty important that people identified during the demo testing or demo feedback that people have given already that need to address. And then I've been kind of hiding it on unintentionally, so we'll move myself to the other corner now. What am I going to try to have done by release? This is a little high level at the moment. I think I'll narrow down some wish list items that I kind of wanted to put on here, but we gotta make sure we get past all these other things I've listed. But really, release, we're just talking about having a finished campaign. I want to have a rough draft done probably by start of summer, but go through and really finish it, polish up all those, like, okay, do I feel like your choices are mattering enough? Does the flow of interactions actually make sense? Could this happen in real life, kind of thing? So kind of giving a large budget to, once the rough draft is done, it's going to take a while to polish it all up. I want to explore adding controller support, partly because if I add controller support, then I think that means it probably can be officially Steam Deck compatible, but also controller support's the best way to make a game more accessibility treatments, because people that aren't great with maybe mouse and keyboard can have, with mobility issues, can remap their special controller or even just normal gamepad to work with the game flawlessly. So really want to try to add controller support for those reasons. Similar keybind remappings right now. I don't have any of that. And give you some flexibility there, and then incorporate Steam achievements. Right now, all it does is the game correctly communicates with Steam and says, "Hey, this person's playing the demo," and it'll update your status and your friends list. But want to actually put in some achievements in there, because I've always really liked when a game has, you know, you'll have your normal ones. Oh, you completed this mission. Yay! Congratulations. But some goofy ones in there too, where you're like, wow, really? This was an achievement? You know, surprising little ones. I think are always. It's just a nice little touch to add in. And plus, it's an area of this development process that I'm actually really curious in. How does a game know and interact with Steam for the achievements? So I'd just like to know that in general. So I'm gonna plan to include that on release. But looks like I've already rambled for 20 minutes. That's the plan. So big picture. Thank you guys again for all your support and feedback. And you know, it was a lot of work just to put that demo together, but all the enthusiasm and getting the Steam page put up has really kind of, I wouldn't say relit a fire, because the fire was already burning to get this, you know, to complete this project. But now it's like, oh, this is feeling real, and I owe a lot of that feeling and confidence to you guys and all the support you've been showing. So thank you very much. And thank you if you made it all the way to here. I really wish I had a better way to reward people. I completely forgot a cat update, I guess. So if you made it all the way to the video, you get your cat update. You probably already see this cat right here. Or if you didn't recognize that as a cat, they've got a nice little blanket on top of my kitchen cabinets now, because they like to sleep right underneath the heating vent. So like when the heat turns on, they get a nice warm breeze as they nap. Honestly, if reincarnation is a true thing, I want to be a spoiled house cat. That would be amazing. Got to be a better Buddhist, I bet, to get spoiled house cat level. And then we'll take the camera for a quick ride. We've got Jelly Bean up in the cat tree. Let's see if we can get his attention. Hey, buddy. Nope, the nap is too powerful. So there you go. I'll try to remember to do cat updates for those of you that care most about that. But hey, now you get a reward for making it to the end. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you sometime in the future. Even though when you view this, it will be the future already for me. That's complicated. Adios.